for producing oil are the lowest in the world. How much does it cost Saudi Arabia to produce 1 barrel of oil?
This is an excellent question. It is very small, very little. It's probably less than $2 to produce a barrel.
Saudi Arabia reportedly needs to sell oil for at least $55 a barrel to cover the cost of running the country. Fossil fuels finance 75% of its entire domestic spending budget. But oil has sunk below that break-even price. Does this worry you? Does this send chills through your spine?
No, I'm not a worrier. I get concerned, but I don't worry.
Are you concerned?
The concern is this. Any price must be good for the producer, for the consumer, for the investor, the oil companies.
So you're saying if the price goes too low, then production will fall, and in the end we'll be squeezed. We won't have enough oil to run our country.
The price will skyrocket.
What he wants is an end to the wild swings in price, which is why, to keep the price from further plummeting, he agreed to a cut of 1.5 million barrels a day in the October meeting of OPEC, the oil cartel. The point is that Saudi Arabia wanted the 1.5. This was not something jammed down your throat.
No, no. It's not, by the way, nothing gets jammed down our throats.
But Iran wanted more.
Well, I mean, different countries want different levels, different cuts. But in the final analysis, reason prevails.
But are you saying that
Saudi Arabia influence on OPEC?
Influence so strong now that he was able to quash Iran's attempt to double the price of oil, which Tehran needs to support its budget, including its nuclear program and the bankrolling of militias like Hezbollah and Hamas. Still, Al-Naimi says oil is no longer used as a weapon. Iran tries to keep the price way up, and Venezuela's trying to keep the price way up. You don't consider that oil as a weapon?
If you looked at these countries you just named,
yes,
every one of them would like to sell every barrel they can.
As high a price as they can get away with.
Right.
The sense out of the OPEC meeting to a lot of people was by cutting production, your purpose was to get the price up again. And that would hurt the world, which is suffering an economic crisis. And the world means everywhere.
I can assure you that price was the least on our mind.
But of course,
I say that in all honesty.
But the sense is you were oblivious to the concerns of the world facing this economic crisis. You didn't care about the recession, the credit problems, or anything like that.
That is really a very unfair criticism. What did governments do when the financial crisis happened? They took measures to bring stability back to the financial market. And we see, because of our responsibility, a future crisis in the oil market. Should we not take preemptive measures to prevent it? And I think the answer is yes, we should. It's incumbent on us not to see the oil market destroyed. The Saudis recently announced the price they would like to see oil selling for, $75 a barrel, about 50% higher than the current price. Are they trying to keep the U.S. addicted to oil? Their answer when we come back.
World in awe.
Discovered oil in the Saudi desert. Standard Oil formed a consortium with Texaco, Exxon, and Mobil, which became Aramco. It wasn't until the 1980s that Saudi Arabia bought them out and nationalized the company. Today, Saudi Aramco is the custodian of the country's sole source of wealth and power. Saudi Aramco is a massive complex along the Persian Gulf, hundreds of miles east of the mega projects. Over 16,000 people work here at the company's compound, which is like a little country, with its own security force, schools, hospitals, even its own airline. Abdallah Juma is president and CEO of Saudi Aramco. So this is your headquarters.
This is our headquarters.
And how big is Aramco?
Saudi Aramco is the world's largest oil producing company.
And it's the richest company in the world, worth, according to the latest estimate, $781 billion.
This
my.
is the heart of our operation. This is the nerve center.
It keeps going. Look at this. This is gigantic. He gave us a tour of the company's command center, where engineers scrutinize and analyze every aspect of the company's operations on a 220-foot digital screen.
Every facility in the kingdom, every drop of oil that comes from the ground is monitored in real time.
In this room?
In this room. And we have control of each and every facility, each and every pipeline, each and every valve on the pipeline, and therefore, we know exactly what is happening in the system from A to Z.
What this map shows is all the oil fields in Saudi Arabia. That big green blob in the middle is Ghawar, the largest onshore oil field in the world. And the one on top is Safaniya, the largest offshore oil field in the world. And these green squares are supertankers that are being monitored on the high seas in real time. So there's not anything that goes on with oil, with Saudi Arabian oil, that isn't known in this room right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How much did this facility cost you?
A lot of money.
And what you see today is a company that is as professionally sound as any international oil company.
Before Ali Al-Naimi became oil minister, he ran Saudi Aramco for 11 years. He was the first Saudi president and CEO. You have, as you just said, one of the most efficient, cutting-edge, 21st century companies in the world.
Yes.
Within one of the most religious, conservative countries in the world. It's almost a paradox. We were surprised by this.
I don't think there is any really surprise. Many people have images of Saudi Arabia, but they really change their views and images when they come and visit Saudi Arabia.
But to Western eyes, it is a paradox. Skyscrapers, traffic jams, and shopping malls coexist with ancient tribal customs. The king and the Quran reign supreme, and women everywhere are required to cover themselves in black from head to toe. Even I had to wear the abaya. The rules apply everywhere, it seems, except for the women at Saudi Aramco. When the U.S. oil companies came here in the 40s and 50s, the Americans moved into the area with their families and developed it to suit their tastes and their way of life. They created a replica of American suburbia. Today, you could be in the outskirts of Houston or Los Angeles. It's almost like an enclave within Saudi Arabia. It's different from the rest of the country.
Yes, that's true, because
Very different. It kept a lot of the American ways.
Yes, of course.
But blocked off
They are
from the
good
rest.
ways. There's nothing wrong with these. They are excellent ways.
But I was so surprised to see the culture there because, for instance, I saw men and women working side by side. I saw women driving cars there, which you don't see.
It's not strange.
Not strange to him, he's a product of that culture, having risen through the ranks. He started out as a 12-year-old office boy in 1947 when it was said that to get oil, all you needed to do was ladle it out of the sand. It was never that easy, according to Aramco CEO Juma.
It takes a lot of effort. The oil is a gift from God. The recovery of oil is really the work of men, and this is part of it here.
Here in this room, Aramco engineers are making sure that not one drop of oil is overlooked. These computers are receiving data via satellite from sensors mounted on drill bits that are burrowing deep into the oil fields all over Saudi Arabia. The engineers are sending IMs, instant messages, that actually guide the drill bits.
He is now